Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Black and Married with Kids. I'm going the wrong way. I'm like scooting off of the page. Let me scoot back over here. Good afternoon, good evening, Happy New Year to one and all.
Yes.
Welcome to Black and Married with Kids. Come on in and join the conversation.
Come on in.
Come on in.
Yes.
Come on in. Tag somebody and tell them that Joe and Barbara Milburn are here with another segment of Black and Married with Kids, Marriage Over 70s. Marriage Over 70. I'm still getting used to working with my laptop, and it gives you all kinds of little crazy error messages popping up all over the place. One of my other sisters was just on, and she was saying the same thing, so I guess it's just something we're going to have to get used to.
Yes.
But come on in. Welcome to Black and Married with Kids. We are
The Milburns.
Joseph and Barbara,
Yes.
and we are Team Milburn.
Yes.
And today we are going to talk about why do husbands lose interest after 20 plus years of marriage, or do they?
No.
Why do husbands lose interest after 20 plus years of marriage, or do they? But before we start, I'd like to thank Dr. Dumas D. and her daughter Ariel Fuller for giving us this opportunity to be on their platform, Black and Married with Kids. We do not take it lightly that they have allowed us to be here, and we appreciate them trusting us, because it's not something that you take lightly,
Yes.
you know. So we do appreciate, and we just asking everybody who's out there in Facebook land, first give me a ear emoji if you can hear us clearly before we get started, and then drop in the chat what state you represent. We want to get to know what states are actually paying attention to us when we come on live. We would like to know that. It's not anything that's like a big thing, but you know, it will be helpful for us if we knew that. So tell us where you're coming from this evening, and say Happy New Year to each other in the chat.
Yes.
Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Tag somebody, let them know that we are here. Share the page. And while I'm talking about sharing the page, please join the Black and Married Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group. I put the link in the chat. It's bit.ly/BMWK group. I'm going to say that again. bit.ly/BMWK group. When you join that group, it allows you to have private conversations that the whole world is not listening to. Plus, it allows you to keep up with the Black and Married with Kids events. We have lots of presenters that come on throughout the course of the week. They have lots of different topics that will help many people. I believe that every time you listen to any of us, you're going to come out with at least one nugget. And if you can apply that one nugget to your life, I believe it will make your life better. So again, we are
Joe
and Barbara Milburn, and we are talking about why do husbands lose interest after 20 plus years of marriage, or do they?
No, they don't. I'm going to stick up for the men. After 20-some years of marriage, it's a milestone. 1. 2, it's something that we go through because we raised kids, and we did all of the things in building this relationship up for 20 years. You know, the kids are grown now. They are gone. And there's a space that's kind of void because you don't have to parent no more. You stop parenting. And you don't have to carpool, don't have to make no schedules to pick up the kids and pick up the laundry and do this and do that. But in all of that busyness, you forgot to be lovers to each other, Thank you. And for that, the conversation do shift. Instead of how you feeling, you'll say, did you remember to pick up something from the store or anything? So, and men tend to feel as though that they are more of a utility provider instead of being who am I, the identity of a man, and you hear that, and after 20 years of marriage, you're in your 30s and 40s, then you become into the midlife crisis,
I always thought that was a thing that wasn't real. Is it real?
It's real.
Okay.
It's real. You look in the mirror and you realize you have more years behind you than you have ahead of you. And then you analyze, did I do everything I wanted to do? And then you have your dreams that you didn't do all that you wanted to do. But now that you're getting older, the kids are gone. It's you and your spouse, and y'all are talking, but y'all forget to tone down, calm down. You don't have the busyness no more. You're still in that vigor mode to keep on going, keep doing and this. And like for us, in our 20 years of marriage, we was in our 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
50s, because we got married in our late
30s, 20s.
I was 29.
And I was
You were
30.
31.
Oh, choose.
Okay.
Anyway, she wound up going back to school,
Yeah.
and I took a corresponding course in photography. And we got together, and thought that was really a good thing to do, and it was. We started our businesses, and there we go, replacing the kids with business. So we're back on the foreground, running again, and she doing her business, I'm doing mine. Plus, we was working. We would still have a full-time job.
And sometimes going in two different directions, because sometimes, remember I used to say, we're just like two ships passing in the night, because you're coming and I'm going, and we really would have to leave each other notes, because he worked nights, I worked days, then he had his extra business, I had my extra business. So we were really kind of like passing each other. It seemed like we couldn't get on the same page and stay there.
Yes.
I'm not going to say we couldn't get there, but we couldn't get there and stay there.
And with that busyness, it still deteriorated the marriage.
Right.
Because we wasn't spending time together.
Right.
And not that we was falling out of love with each other, no. We just didn't have that intimate time that we needed to share, And then come in the midlife crisis, we were saying we didn't have the romance, and I was busy. I was working the job and my business, and I got sick. I developed a prostate problem, and that's when I started to withdraw from the relationship. You can speak on that if you want.
I wanted to say I looked at, I always go to Google to see what Google thinks, even though, we have in our mind what we would like to say based on just our experiences. But Google gave me 6 reasons why men lose interest in sex: aging, alcohol dependence, side effects from medication, depression, low testosterone, and drug abuse. Now, piggybacking on what Joe said about the prostate issues, his method of dealing with it was to withdraw and not talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So because he withdrew and didn't discuss it, in my mind, the first thing I'm thinking is, well, what is he doing? He's gone all the time. He's not home. When he is home, he kind of feels it's like he doesn't really want to be bothered with me. I had no idea that he was trying to keep from me his health issues because he didn't feel comfortable enough to discuss them. And 20 years ago, men didn't feel comfortable enough. And in all reality, sometimes they don't want to talk about it now.
And they sure don't.
Yeah.
And 20 years ago, we didn't have smartphones.
Right.
And it wasn't a lot of information out there. I was seeking my information through magazines. Even though I went to the doctors and I had a urologist, he really didn't want to talk about the side effects or the whatever I had to go through. All he wanted to do was try to straighten out the issue, which it wasn't done anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, like Barbara said, I did withdraw. I got isolated, and the circle that I was in, they didn't talk about it. You know, it was men that I was around, they didn't talk about it, and going through statistics, there's 1 out of 8 males that will have a prostate problem. Mm-hmm. 1 out of 8. And I'm around 2025. And nobody wanted to talk about it, you know, and I imagine it was because the same reason that I didn't want to talk about it, because of shame and pride.
Right.
You know, and, you know, you losing your manhood, you know, and that's all that was pride, you know, but I withdrew from her and she thought I was falling out of love with her. And that's why we separated during our 22nd, 23rd year of marriage.
That's why I say, and this is just my personal opinion, that when you get to year 20, 21, 22, that's when the hard work is in. One of us, and I can't remember which one of the team, and I know I touched on it a little bit, we talked about that happily ever after syndrome, the fairy tale that most of us women grow up believing, that we're going to meet this knight in shining armor and he's going to rescue us and we're going to be in love forever. And the world, the system leads you to believe that this is going to be some hot, steamy romance like you see on the soap operas every day. Mm-hmm. You know, how many of us were hooked on the soap operas? You know, the passion that you see on the screen, it's be like, well, I want that. I want it all the time. Well, that's unrealistic. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody's libido is different for one thing, yes, but to think that you're going to have hot, steamy sex every day, from my experience, and maybe somebody out there got that, and if you got that, please type it in the chat and let me know, because I've never had it, and I don't think at this late date I ever will. But when you're not getting it at all, then you start to wonder, well, what's going on? Is there somebody mm-hmm. else? Am I unattractive? And women, let me say this while I'm on this note. Sometimes we contribute. You are married for X amount of years. You got your house coat on. It's looking a mess. You ain't combed your hair. You don't put on no makeup. You don't make yourself look becoming. Now, and I'm not saying that when you're home and you're being comfortable that you have to get all dressed up, but really, it makes you feel better. If I get up in the morning and stay in my PJs all day long, I feel a whole lot different than I do if I get up in the morning, do my hair, put some makeup on, put on a nice outfit. Even though I'm not going anywhere, it makes me feel better about myself. And then when you feel better about yourself, you can feel more sensual around your mate, which might make him want to be interested, even if he really wasn't. Mm-hmm. You know, so sometimes we play a part in it. You don't, it's just a lot of things that we do in the beginning that we don't do. Sometimes we get tired. Mm-hmm. because we feel like we're doing, and they're not paying attention, so you get tired, and I get that too. But you got to go back to putting some work in the marriage because it is work. It's not a game.
It's work.
It's not a game.
Mm-hmm. And I want to just elaborate on getting tired.
Okay.
You say sometimes you get tired, and men, you can make yourself, desirable. I'm going to say that because, in the beginning, when you saw her, I'm talking about when y'all was dating, when you saw her, you did everything you could to make yourself look good so that when you turn that corner or you ring that bell and she opened that door, there's going to be a big grin on her face and you was the man, and you still have to do that while you're 20, 30 years into your marriage. The little song that we had
last week.
yeah, the last week, the same thing it took to get your baby hooked.
It's going to take the same thing to keep her.
Yeah. And just put that little stuff in your marriage, because the marriage is just more of a dating game when you get older than into the marriage than it is when you was younger. Because even though y'all think after 20 years you know each other,
mm-hmm.
and you do.
And we take each other for granted, too.
You take each other for
granted. Because we do know each other.
Yeah, but on the other hand, too, we have grown 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 years is different from 20 years back.
Right, we're not the same people
We're
anymore.
not the same people.
We grow and evolve every day. We all do.
So there's a little more interest in the relationship, because you got to discover her all over again.
All over again. Because I'm new every day. You're new every day.
Every day.
I adopted for the new year. Actually, I adopted it when I came back from Ghana, to be honest. When I was in Ghana and Dr. Dunamis D had me in the river there and she dipped me in the water, so to speak, I came back feeling like a whole new person. And so now my song is, I think, who is this? You told me who sang. It goes new.
Oh,
everything new. Every day we are a new person. We are not the same person because we age in physical numbers, mm-hmm. but we grow. We learn things. We think different. We are constantly evolving every day. And so I'm not the same person that you married back in 1981.
No, you're not.
And you're not the same person that I married back in 1981, but the mm-hmm. love is still there. It just looks different.
Yes, it does.
It looks different. Mm-hmm. And we have to work with that difference. We have to nurture it and, mm-hmm. and do things to come together. Plan date night. Mm-hmm. Don't just expect that everything is supposed to go a certain way because you might have in your head that that's the way it's supposed to happen. Talk about it.
Yes. And a lot of times what happened 10 years ago will not happen today.
Right.
Because we are ever changing.
Always changing.
Yes.
Again, I want to thank Dr. Dunamis D and her beautiful daughter, Ariel Fuller, for giving us a chance to be on this platform. We don't come with any credentials, we don't have master's degrees. We are speaking from the things that we have learned in life. Mm-hmm. And I am part of a grief ministry. And one of the things that we always say in that ministry is you do not have to be a therapist in order to be therapeutic. Mm-hmm. Sometimes just what you share out of your heart can help somebody in ways that you can't even imagine. And I said this earlier too, if you can learn something from us, from our experiences, we want you to do that. Because if we can help you do one thing differently that makes it better for your life, we've helped one soul, and that's what we're seeking, souls. Yes. So get some experience tactics off of the clearance rack from us ask us questions. We want you
Yes.
to ask us questions. We want you to put in the chat things, especially when you get in the private group. BMW private Facebook group. It's bit.ly/BMWK group. I pinned it in the chat so that you can't lose it. We want you to sign up. We want you to join the group. And we would like for you to follow us on the different things that we have available out there for you. Now, just in my little group, we have the Bookers. They speak on infidelity. We have the Whitfields. They speak on faith and marriage. We have the Whites. They speak on communication.
Yes.
We have Dr. Glenda Hayden. And I smile because I love her little 12 noon segment about the Mom's Minute, because it gives moms a chance to take a break in the middle of their day. You know, you might be a stay-at-home mom and you might be bogged down with children, and sometimes when you get home, when your husband gets home and you're aching for some adult conversation, he really don't have time because he got to wind down from his job too. So take that 30 minutes at 12 noon with Dr. Glenda and let her encourage you, because she's dropped some really good nuggets in the past few weeks. And who did I forget? I forgot Sister Quetta. Sister Quetta comes on Friday nights and she talks about praying wives. And she has a slew of topics on things that wives pray for, because that's one thing that I don't think anybody really talks about. Yeah, you go to church and yeah, they say pray. But does anybody specifically tell you to pray for your husband or to pray for your wife? And when you go to God, you can go to him about anything. If your husband, like we were talking about the medical part, if your husband has a prostate issue, talk to God.
Yes.
If your husband has ED, talk to God. You know, there is nothing that we can tell God that we're going to shock him, because he knows all about each and every one of us. And going back to the 6 reasons why men lose interest, I wanted to read a little bit of this. Now, one of the things that they talked about was side effects from medication. Now, it says medications can cause low libido due to their side effects. Some medications affect your testosterone levels. That's a big downer. If your testosterone is down, he ain't interested. And sometimes men don't realize that they have that issue, especially if they're not going to the doctors on a regular basis. So men, please go to the doctors.
Yes.
You know, don't wait till you're sick and you can barely walk and you about ready to get in the coffin. Go. The doctor is not going to tell you anything that's going to hurt you. It could save your life.
And go to the doctors for early detection
Yes.
of whatever, because if they can detect it early, you have a chance of curing it or isolating it totally and getting rid of it.
Extending your life.
Yes.
5-10 years. Don't you want to live 5-10 years longer? I do. You know, if God were to call me home today, I believe that I'm ready, but I'm not anxious. I want to stay a little bit longer, you know, but we have to take care of ourselves. We have to think about our mental self. And something that came up recently in one of Dr. Dunamis D's classes was emotional intelligence.
Yes.
You know, a lot of us, and I say this, and this was Dr. Ariel Fuller, and I say this all the time. Ariel said in one of our classes, just because you have butt and tits don't make you a woman. That hit me like a ton of bricks. You hear me? Here I am, 70 years old, and that hit me like a ton of bricks, because I believed, I don't know what you guys believed, as soon as you got your bra and you know, you got a little fuzz under your arms, you know, you grown. You know, you're going to stand up to mama maybe and stand up to papa and act like the grandmother. My grandmother used to say, oh, she's smelling herself. Well, you know, that doesn't make you a woman, because there's so many things that go along with being a woman. And to be honest, a lot of us, we go right from teenage years or puberty years into motherhood, because we don't understand our bodies. We think that because we're frisky, that the men really want us. So a lot of times we're promiscuous. We wind up with a child really early. So now our life is really cut in a different way because we can no longer be a teenager. Now we have to be a mother. And then when you're a mother, if the father is not present, then you got to get a job. So now you're a mother and you're an employee. So when do you have time to learn about the woman? And it's the woman that you really need to understand, because if you don't love her, then the mate is not going to love her. Mm-hmm. You gotta command respect, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense or not, but you can't, if you feel bad about yourself, if you don't value you, mm-hmm. then you can't get mad with him because he don't value you. Mm-hmm. It all works together.
Yes.
It all works together. Couple other things I wanted to touch on, drug abuse, alcohol dependence. We all have a drink or do what we do, but if you drink a lot, men, it decreases your libido. And I think most men kind of thought it was the other way around. But technically, really, in your physical body, it decreases your libido. The drug abuse, it says marijuana, tobacco, and illicit drugs lower your libido and make ED more common. So sometimes just something as simple as taking better care of yourself can make you be more interested in your mate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to always be complicated. Sometimes we make things complicated. But I was looking in the chat, I saw a lot of states that we represented. I saw Georgia, I saw Maryland, I saw Sister Pamela Ellison. She was saying that she's guilty of being in her pajamas all day. Don't feel bad, sis. I'm in mine a lot too. But some days, honestly, I hear Mama D in my head. And I know you guys hear us mention Mama Dunamis D as we talk. She is a phenomenal coach, therapeutic coach for women, trying to reach souls all over the land. But her message is real. She does not teach religion. She teaches kingdom. Mm-hmm. And kingdom is a whole different ball game than religion. A lot of the religious things that we have been taught in the course of our lives have kept us chained and bound instead of making us free. Kingdom makes you free. I always say on a lot of my posts, I will end it by saying, be safe, be well, be loved, be free, but just be. Because God created us to be human beings, not human doings. Mm-hmm. We're so busy doing that we don't have a chance to be.
I want to say, I'm going to get back to the subject.
Okay.
I want to say, even though you've been married 20 plus years and whatever, keep the line of communication open.
That's so important.
That's so important because you can withdraw even, 20 years, they say, is one of the pivotal moments where marriages dissolve. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the time it's because the communication is not open. You got to keep the communication open. You can't get familiar with the ways of your wife or your husband because we're ever changing, So that's why you need to keep the communication open so you can understand and rejuvenate that relationship that you had 20 mm-hmm. years. You're not going to be the same, but you can do things in a different way that still means the same. And it like that spark. You know what I mean?
I do. And let me say this too, to both the men and the women. Mm. If you're at that point where you think, I don't want to be married no more. I don't want to do this no more. Especially after you've spent a large number of years together. Mm. I always say, think about what you're doing. And remember that wherever you go, you're carrying your baggage with you. So if you spent 5, 10, 15, 20 years with this man, and then you're going to start over? Why? Now you got to learn somebody new all over again. So all that groundwork, in a sense, that you have laid with another man, you've lost that. You can't ever get it back. And you are going into a new relationship with your same baggage. You have not taken the time to be by yourself and to find out really who you are. Because you have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Anything else, my darling?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Well, with that being said, again, we want to thank Dr. Dunamis D and Ariel for giving us an opportunity to be here on this platform. We are glad that you guys are with us today. Please share this video on your personal page so that more people can be reached, more lives can be changed, more souls can be saved, because the kingdom is all about souls. We thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you'll come back next Saturday at 6 p.m. because we'll be back
With another topic.
with another topic. And hopefully you guys will join us, and I hope that we have said something that has enlightened your day. I hope you got at least one nugget out of this. That's all one nugget that you can use in your relationship that will help it be better. So thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Yes, we do.
And please come back next week. And again, Happy New Year.
And like the video.
And share.
Share.
And don't forget, the Black and Married with Kids Facebook page is bit.ly/BMWK group. I actually pinned it in the comments. So all you have to do is click the link, join, share, and just let's do this.
Yes, yes. New year, new things.
That's right. New, everything. New. Bye, guys.